What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the DS Asylum. I'm your Warden of the Minty Shrine. Two things right before we get started here. One, I know some of you guys want to know how I think about the new updates. I will be doing a full review of the updates probably tomorrow, unless I get some weird spontaneous inspiration to do a different kind of video. That video will be tomorrow. And two, I finally found out what the maximum amount of these coins, these weekend coins you can have. Apparently it's 30. Apparently, if you save these coins for about as long as it takes for the game to load, that's sparking coins. 10 weeks is the max that you can do. So now I pretty much have to use these every weekend so that I don't just have these sitting in my box. I mean, they're there for an entire month, so I guess I don't really have to, but the reason why these are saved so much is because I've just haven't been in a situation where I've needed to use these. So they've just been kind of collecting here. There's nothing in here that I realistically need right now. So maybe I'll just grab the 30 energy or something. I don't know. So yeah, if anyone was curious as to how many of those you can hold at one time, it's 30. But today's video, we will be going over my God Key team, what I believe to be the most optimal God Key setup, and honestly, probably one of the most fun teams in the game right now, honestly. Now that Vegito Blue has been essentially kicked off the team, this team's actually fun to use. Like, that was my biggest problem with God Key, was I felt obligated to use Vegito Blue, and Vegito Blue is about as fun to use as it is to punch yourself in the stomach. So, yeah, with the Goku, he's actually pretty fun to use, and he's also just better than Vegito. So, I wanted to go over what I do believe to be the best setup for God Key is. First things first, you're going to notice the units that I have here. Vados, Merge Zamasu, the Zenkai 7, Super Saiyan Blue Goku, who, for those of you who do not know, is at 1400%. A Red Rose, Champa, and the Extreme Zamasu. So let's go over the Z abilities real quick, just so that you guys know why I've picked what I've picked. Vados is giving 28% to blast attack and defense. Merge Zamasu giving another 28% to blast attack and defense, plus an extra 15% to powerful opponent. So Rose will be getting the extra 15%. Goku is giving 23% to blast attack and defense. Goku Black is giving 30% strike attack and defense. Champa's only at 4 stars right now, so when I eventually get him to 6 through multi-Z power, he will be doing whatever his 6-star is to blast attack and defense. And then EX Zamasu is doing 25% to both attacks. So this is a very blast-heavy team, which is fine because the only melee unit on this entire squad is Rose. And because of the massive amounts of blast buffs, he actually ends up doing more blast damage than strike damage, which is kind of funny. So, yeah, very blast damage oriented team. But again, it's fine. Vados does have a higher strike stat than blast stat, but it's negligible. They're pretty similar, so it doesn't really matter. Merge Zamasu is literally a range type. Goku is a range type, and Champa's a range type. So, very simple ranged team we have here. Vados is essential. I'm going to say this right now. If you want to run God Key, Vados, I would say, is the most essential unit. In terms of support units, she's the best unit in the entire game. In terms of being a support type, no one even comes close to her. She's in a league of her own when it comes to support types. So I would say she is 100% essential for the team. Her only downside is the fact that, yeah, she doesn't have the greatest defenses. But if she did have good defense, like, a lot of people like to rag on her for having bad defenses, and I bring up the same argument I brought up back when Kefla first came out and people were underestimating her because her defenses weren't good. If she had good defenses, she would literally be unbeatable. Like, imagine if Vados had been labeled a defense type and she had, crazy high defenses. She would literally be the best unit in the game. Even LF Gohan would not be able to come close to the amount of busted Vados would be. Between her super card, not only dealing major impact damage, but also sealing enemy strike cards to 5 counts and can't be nullified by anything except her own super, Vegito Blue's super, Final Form Cooler, and Kid Buu. I believe those are the only ones that have that. Omega Shenrons might, I don't remember, but those are the ones that I know for sure are the only ones that can even tie with this thing. And then her having one of the best green cards in the game, -3 to sub count, reduce enemy ki by 40, and then just make them unable to restore that ki for 5 counts. It may not seem like a lot, but if your ki is already low and she does that, she drops you to 0 ki, and then for 5 counts, you can't recover any of that ki without switching out. You either have to waste a Vanish to try and get some ki back, or you kind of just have to wait it out and hope you can stall out long enough to get a sufficient amount of ki to do a combo with. It's very oppressive. It's a very oppressive green card. She has one of the better main abilities. She heals the entire team by 15%, 30% the damage for 60 counts. It's a long time. 60 counts is a very long time in today's meta, and she just cancels all the attribute downgrades and abnormal conditions. So units that like to nerf health restoration, like the red Super Saiyan Blue Goku, or the purple Zenkai Super Saiyan 3 Goku, just gone. Just that attribute downgrade, just gone. And she also gives herself very, very good buffs. She enters the battlefield, she gets 25 ki, 45% to her damage, +1 to arts card draw speed, both of those for 20 counts, and then -5 to strike and blast for 15 timer counts. And she makes up for not having the best defenses by destroying 2 enemy cards when she cover changes. So she may not be able to take the combo, but if she cover changes, she doesn't have to take a combo because she removes your combo. On top of when she switches out, she is again giving you 25 ki and basically 40% to your damage. The first 10 times that you swap out, 5% of which will never go away. It's completely uncancelable. And if you are tagged God, Hero, Rival, Universe, she's restoring 10% of your health. That's ridiculous. Like, she is actually the best support in the game, without a question. No support even comes close to her. She is the god amongst support units, which makes sense. She's an angel, I guess. But we have never seen a support this good in Dragon Ball Legends. She is essential. Not only is she a good attacker in her own right because of the first main ability, but the second main ability literally just makes her, honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that she had low defenses, she'd be Z tier. If she had high defenses, she would be easy Z tier. Me personally, I think I'd still put her in the Z tier because it's just like, how do you combat that level of support? That's just ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. So your best bet is to lead Vados. And because she has that crazy support and the damage buffs to herself, you don't even need her at high stars. Mine's at 7 stars. You don't even need her. A 2-star Vados is going to do the same thing for you that a 14-star Vados is going to do. Just that 14-star Vados will, put up better numbers. But in terms of supporting the team, doing what she's supposed to do, 2-star Vados is going to do the same thing. It's crazy just how good she is. She is 100% essential for the team. Now, the next member is interchangeable. Merge Zamasu. Merge Zamasu is interchangeable. Excuse me. Merge Zamasu is interchangeable. And that changeable unit would be I should probably have God Key already selected here, but that would be a smart thing, and I'm not very smart. This Vegeta right here. I personally don't use him simply because I only have him at 2 stars. And a 7-star Merge Zamasu is just strictly superior to a 2-star Blue Vegeta. So we stick with Merge Zamasu on the team. And Merge Zamasu gives me a bit better coverage. He has the strike card cover change, which is very good. And on top of the fact that it does take him a little bit to build up through his main abilities, he does have to wait 15 counts to get that 40% damage increase. He's got to wait 30 to get that arts card draw speed and 50 to reduce the arts card cost. So it does take him a little bit to build up. Obviously, that last ability is, whatever. It's good. But for that one to be locked behind 50 counts, it doesn't really matter. The other two are much better. Having to wait 30 counts can be annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Most matches nowadays can last that long because Zenkai units, like a Zenkai unit versus a Zenkai unit, tend to draw matches out because a lot of them can heal. So, and then having that 30% to blast damage inflicted against literally everyone that isn't also Zamasu or Goku Black. I mean, I love how that's a thing. Like, I think he's the only unit in the game that just has damage against everyone except himself. That's actually kind of funny. And then when the enemy attack is over, he restores his health for 30 counts. It's 20% to his damage, up to 80. So after 4 times of getting hit, he literally just has 80% to his damage that can't be canceled. And because he can heal himself with both this unique and his main ability, he can definitely take 4 hits. It's actually kind of insane. I actually forgot that it was up to 80. I knew he got the 20%, but I actually forgot it was up to 80%. And he reduces damage received by 40% when he changes cover. So even if you're not, stopping the combo with a strike card, he's still going to take damn near half the damage that he would have taken because cover cut. It's such a broken combo. Having a strike card cover change and cover cut. So even if you call out the strike card cover change and use a blast card, it really doesn't matter because you're still not going to do any damage to him unless you bring out a yellow unit who can break through that cut or is just really good. So Merge Zamasu, it does take him a minute to build up, but being able to heal, gaining that key with his main ability, having the sustained damage cut through, having all of these buffs, it does make him a very usable member of the team and a staple member of the team as well. Next, obviously we're going to talk about Goku last. The team revolves around him. Next is Goku Black. Now, why am I using Goku Black and not the red Super Saiyan Blue Goku? One, he's at 3 stars, so 10-star Rose is just better than a 3-star Blue Goku. But also, Blue Goku does not buff the God Key tag. He buffs Future and Sun Family. And I feel like for people who are already using the purple Vegeta over Merge Zamasu, that's not good. You're literally missing out on 2 Z abilities by using these 2. Your team is just simply not as strong by using these 2 units together. It's okay if you use one or the other if they're at high stars. Like if I had this Goku at 10 stars and I had Rose at 10 stars, I would probably be using him over Rose because a 10-star Goku is better than a 10-star Rose. But in terms of the setup that I have here, Rose's Z ability is just so much more useful anyway, to the point where even if I did have him at high stars, I don't know, like if I had him at 6, I still would probably use Rose, just because I don't tend to take red units out that often. There aren't many situations where I need a red unit. There aren't that many super powerful yellow units in the meta. In fact, the only one that I'm genuinely afraid of is Kid Goku. Like, the only time Rose ever comes out is when I have to deal with Kid Goku and there's no Namek Goku. So, Rose is whatever. He's kind of just there to deal with pesky yellows and for his Z ability. He's not really an essential member of the team. You could swap him out. Honestly, this team needs a red unit, like, super desperately. That's why I'm kind of hoping that we get a new red God Key unit soon. And that's that. Rose, there's not really much to talk about there. He's just there for his phenomenal Z ability and to deal with pesky yellows. But next is Champa. And Champa is probably the hardest hitter in the game that is not a Zenkai or an LF, or both. And it really shows when he's with Vados. I'd say the most optimal way to use God Key, which is the way that I use God Key, is Vados, Champa, and Goku. That is the setup that I personally take into PvP, unless I have to deal with a really powerful green or a really powerful yellow, in which case I would take Merge Zamasu or Rosé. But in every other situation, 80% of the time, I'm taking Vados, Champa, and Goku, which is dangerous because just like Vados, Champa's not very tanky. He is not very good at taking hits. Now, I only have him at 4 stars. If I had him at 7 like Vados, it wouldn't be that big of a problem. But because he's the lowest starred unit on the team, he definitely is a glass cannon. But his super attack dealing massive explode damage as well as getting that 30% to a special move. His green card is actually quite useful, reducing enemy Dragon Balls 3 times, canceling their attribute upgrades once, and then making them take 30% more damage. That basically makes, if you do the super right afterwards, they're taking 60% more damage on top of the massive impact, which is insane. He heals 30% in 50 key and nullifies nullifies element factor with his main ability, which is very powerful, on top of destroying all of your enemy's cards. He gets 50% to his damage just for entering the battlefield and 40% to his blast. So just for existing on the battlefield, he's got 90% to his blast damage, minus 10 to his blast and special move cost. I mean, you put Vados with him. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. He literally just shreds everything. He reduces damage received by 20%, which helps him with that inability to tank. And he's debuffing the team with all this crazy stuff just for entering the battlefield. Champa is an amazing unit. Definitely much better than Beerus was when he came out. But seriously, this guy is absolutely insane. One of the, like I said, probably the hardest hitter in the entire game, especially with Vados, that is not a Zenkai or LF unit. And honestly, I think he hits harder than every normal LF. He definitely hits harder than Vegito Blue. The only reason Vegito Blue does the damage he does is because his combos last so long. Like, if Vegito's combos didn't last 25 years, he wouldn't be able to do half the damage he does. His damage isn't actually that great outside of his super and ultimate. It's just the fact that his combos last forever. So he might actually just be the hardest hitter in the game that isn't a Zenkai. Especially with Vados. So it makes him a very important member of the team, because if your opponent gets the first hit, he's in trouble. If you get the first hit, they're literally just dead. And speaking of being just dead, we got Blue Goku. Blue Goku is kind of ridiculous. He's pretty crazy. Let me just show you guys. He is at 1400%. There you go. The people who might not believe me. And even not being at 14 stars, he's just phenomenal. I mean, his super attack doesn't even do all that. He doesn't even do all that much. He's just good. He's always had one of the better green cards in the game, restoring health, ki, and increasing your damage. Massive impact on his ultimate with 50% to ultimate damage, 30% through cover cut. The only thing that Goku does not have, the only drawback to this Goku, is that out of everyone on this team, aside from the EX Zamasu, Goku is the only one that cannot heal with his main ability. He only heals with the green card, which you are most likely going to be giving to Vados to try and cripple your opponent and lower the sub count. So very rarely are you going to be in a situation where Goku can actually recover that health, but it's fine, because you're constantly going to be switching out from Vados to get the support buffs, and she's going to be healing the whole team by 10% when she switches out. He doesn't need to heal with his main ability because Vados is constantly healing him. Vados also heals the entire team, not just herself with her main ability. So realistically, he may be the only member of the team that doesn't heal with his main ability, but because he's a Zenkai 7 unit, he doesn't have to. He's the one unit here that doesn't need it. And the damage potential that this guy has is insane. Between 15% damage when just for existing on the battlefield, to having all of these time-gated buffs, the arts card draw speed being behind 50 counts is very bad. They really should have designed that more like Merge Zamasu, where he got that after 30 counts, because having arts card draw speed is so important in today's meta. For the first 45 counts, he just reduces damage by 35% and just immune to attribute downgrades and abnormal conditions, which is ridiculous. He restores his ki by 5 and buffs the entire team's damage by 10% whenever he uses a Strike or Blast card. And then he gets another 15% just for existing on the battlefield. And then once 45 counts have elapsed, he gets 15% to both blast damage and normal damage, so essentially 30% to blast damage. So this guy hits hard. It does take a little bit of building up, but again, with Vados, it doesn't matter, because Vados is going to make sure that he hits super hard before he's built up. That way, when he is eventually built up, if the match lasts that long, he just one-shots everything. He just runs through everything. And I do actually like the fact that it takes him a little bit to build up. That way he doesn't have this same thing that LF Gohan has, where he just enters the battlefield 3 counts into a match and wins. You're not just going to win the match just by existing. You kind of have to be there for a while just for him to enter the battlefield and win. But with Vados, he is still going to be a very, very hard hitter, which is why I went on about Vados being the most essential member of the team, because she is what makes this team hit so incredibly hard. And the reason why I go with EX Zamasu on the bench and not someone like, say, the Red Super Saiyan God Goku, because Red Super Saiyan God Goku gives health and critical, a very good Z ability, but I'm just more focused on these guys hitting super hard. I'm just focused on these guys, just coming in, just beating you up and just winning matches. If I get a hit on you, you lose. Like, I will end up doing so much damage to you that it's almost impossible for you to come back without a Rising Rush. And if you do use your Rising Rush, you have to hope that I, 1, don't guess it, and 2, don't end up in a situation where I need to use my rush. Because I'm the person that believes that if you have the advantage, you shouldn't need to use your Rising Rush. In fact, it's always something I felt like they should implement. 1, you shouldn't even be able to use your rush if you have all 3 of your characters alive. And 2, if you have more collective health between your units than your opponent, you also shouldn't be able to use your Rising Rush. Rising Rush is so ridiculously powerful, it should be a comeback mechanic, not a let me win the match instantly mechanic, which is what it is. So I tend not to use my rush unless I'm in a dire situation, because, I'm not a bitch. So there's that little fact. And because of that, I tend not to need it, truthfully. I tend not to need my rush, because these guys just output just a crazy amount of damage. So all in all, the setup that I personally use is Vados, Champa, and Goku. For those people who did not summon on the Universe 6 banner and do not have Vados or Champa, I would recommend plopping this Vegeta on the team. I understand if you have Zamasu at higher stars, I know Zamasu's the better option, but this guy, I think the team needs support buffs. The team just is not going to compete with the meta without Vegito Blue, without some form of support aspect. And Vegeta being able to draw you a card when he switches out is very good. It's very good. His death buffs are probably one of the best, if not the best, in the game. So do keep that in mind. Now, if you're on the fence about doing that, if you have Zamasu at higher stars, first of all, if you don't have Vados, this LF Blue Vegeta is perfectly fine. If you do not have him, I'm sorry, I just don't think you can really run God Ki. God Ki does not have very many options. It's a very small tag, so you kind of need specific units. If you do not have Vados and you do not have the LF Blue Vegeta, I'm sorry, I don't really think you can run God Ki, at least not with a green unit. And if you don't have Champa, I don't really think you're going to be running a yellow unit either. You can use this Goku. He's good. It's not bad. But he's not going to take the hits that you need him to take. He doesn't heal with his main abilities. So it's just... You're going to struggle more than you need to. If you really want to run God Ki, you have to summon on the Universe 6 banner. It is honestly mandatory at this point if you want a green or yellow unit to run. Vados is the best green unit for God Ki, best support in the entire game. Champa is the best yellow option. Depending on stars, Merge Zamasu or Purple Vegeta work. I personally think that Rose just fits better on the team because his Z ability actually buffs the team. Now, you guys are probably wondering, Vegeta doesn't buff the team either. Like, he doesn't buff the God Ki tag either. So why am I giving him a pass over Goku? Okay, it does show. So why am I giving him a pass over Goku? Because Vegeta's just better than Goku. Vegeta is literally just better than Goku. So he gets a pass. If you have him at a high star amount, it's fine. And his color doesn't clash with Rose. That's the thing. His color doesn't clash with Rose, so you can keep Rose on the team and still take advantage of his phenomenal Z ability. Goku does clash with Rose. So you either have to remove your bench unit down, over here to try and keep that Z ability, or you just have to not run Goku. I personally don't think Goku is all that anymore. He's kind of fallen off a little bit. He's only really useful if you run into a powerful yellow unit. And even then, he's not going to do too well against Champa because now that you can cover change twice, I'm just going to switch into the blue Goku. Like, if you're hitting me, I have Vados, I switch into Champa, you switch into blue Goku, I'm just going to switch into my own blue Goku. Good luck. Like, actually good luck with that one. So, I don't think his value is as high as Vegeta's, so that's why Vegeta gets a pass for not buffing the team over Goku. But I think that's just about it. Real quick, let's go ahead and take a look at the equipment that I'm running on the team. So the equipment it'd be better if I just showed it with the details. That way you guys can see what the equipment's actually doing. So we got this Awakened Equip right here. Let you guys take a look at that. And we got this female equip, the best equipment in the entire game. Bar none. This equip that just outright refuses to become a Z no matter what I do. That's what we got on Vados. Merge Zamasu. I need another copy of a certain equip to be able to get rid of this one, but this one is fine for the time being since Goku's always going to be on the team no matter what. Vados and Goku will always be there. It's just that middle unit that's going to change. This one's really good. Actually, whole time. Why am I even... Oh, wait. Why do you have that? You're supposed to have this one. You're stupid. Look at this. Whole time I've been running the wrong frickin' equipment. That's how much it doesn't actually matter. That's how good this team is. It's how good this team is. It doesn't even matter. You can be running the wrong equipment and it still works. I'm so surprised they gave us a Z plus of this equip. It is so good. Like, I don't know why they decided to do that, but whatever. Obviously, I've got a lot of blast attack on this Goku. A lot of blast attack. The dynamic is actually really good because this Awakened Equip, this is the Awakened Equip I need one more copy of to put on Merge Zamasu. But this one gives me blast attack, critical, and strike defense. Then this is giving me blast defense, blast attack, and special move damage. And then this is giving me both attacks, strike defense. So I've got every stat except for key recovery and health covered with his equips. Rose's got this Awakened Equip right here. Strike attack. Go ahead and actually put the... Okay, good. He does have the better one on. I just wanted to... Wait, no. He has the better one. Get over here. Why does my EX Zamasu have all the better equipment? The things you notice when you actually look at your freaking equipment. So we've got that, and then we've got this. Again, it just shows you how good this team is. I didn't even notice that my team's equipment was all messed up. And then Champa, he's running the other copy of this. He's got this equipped right here, give him some extra health, make the tank a bit more. And then he's got this one right here. I do not have this one awakened. I unfortunately was unable to get another awakened version of this. So this is what he's running. And then EX Zamasu apparently had all of my better equipment for some stupid reason. But that is my God Key team. I hope I didn't take too long doing this. I feel like I've been recording for quite some time. But yeah, that is going to be it for this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed and got something out of it. Going over the God Key team and why it's so fun to use. Because they put up so much damage, but they're not unbeatable. The problem I have with Sun Family is they put up even more damage than this team does without supports, and they're just much harder to beat. This team, it's hard to beat, definitely. Zenkai Goku is Zenkai Goku, but it's not something that you're gonna queue up in PvP and be like, oh god, like with Sun Family. So, it is definitely fun to use, and even fun to fight to a certain extent. Obviously, if someone's just got more stars than you, it can be annoying, but when you run into a fair matchup, it's fun. So, like I said, I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, hit that join button if you can, really helps the channel out. All of the links you could ever possibly want in the description below, and yeah, this is a pretty powerful team. I like it. I'll see all of you inmates back here at the asylum for the next video. Peace.